So long as there are men, there will be wars. It's a quote from Albert Einstein that unfortunately stands to be correct today. Wars have taken place throughout history, and unfortunately they always will. With technology advancing rapidly, especially over the last century or so, man has found countless more ways to destroy one another. And in today's video we'll be looking at a particularly deadly man, Vasily Zaytsev. He was a hero of the Soviet Union during World War II. Vasily was born in, and bear with me here, Yeleninskoye, to a peasant family. He was raised in the Ural Mountains, where he became a gifted marksman hunting deer and wolves. He made his first kill at just 12, bringing home a wolf which he'd killed with a single shot, and after graduating from a few different places, he became a clerk of the artillery department in the Pacific Fleet. It was here he was caught in the Great Patriotic War, which he'd done shortly after finishing his studies at military school. He volunteered to transfer to the army upon learning of Germany's invasion of Russia, and was promoted to senior warrant officer. He was assigned to the 62nd Army at Stalingrad in 1942, and this is where he sort of came into his own. Zaytsev was chosen to be a sniper due to his previous experience hunting, and he used this to his advantage on numerous occasions. He was able to conceal himself and hide incredibly well using his environment around him, and he'd usually change position every few kills, which was quite interesting. In fact, one of the most common tactics he'd deploy consisted of him and some men covering a large area from 3 different positions. He'd put a sniper and a scout at each one. This became known as the Sixes, and it's actually still used quite commonly today by military forces. He fought in the Battle of Stalingrad until he was injured by a mortar attack, and his sight was damaged, but luckily it was restored by one of his comrades who tended to his wounds. On the 22nd of Feb 1943, he was awarded title Hero of the Soviet Union. He returned to the front and took part in the Battle of Silo Heights in Germany, and he then went on to become a member of the Communist Party. He was credited with around 242 confirmed kills, which has included 11 snipers. Just for the record, a confirmed kill back then meant, I believe, that not only another soldier had to be present, but a senior officer had to be present to witness it as well, meaning he potentially could have killed even more on his own. He would eventually have a film made about him called Enemy at the Gates, which it's actually quite accurate. It's pretty interesting. It's worth a watch as it shows this 3-day duel he had with an enemy sniper, which was an actual German major, so it's quite interesting. It's disputed to this day whether the duel actually happened, although in his memoirs he says that it did, so I mean... So it's very easy to listen to stories like this and be in a state of awe about what you've heard. People like Vasily are heroes and should be regarded as such. It's different from when you're in the situation yourself though. We look back at history so we can learn what it was like to be in someone else's shoes, to feel what they felt and to learn from their mistakes. To outsmart hundreds of men while defending the nation you love, to relentlessly put yourself into dangerous situations and to keep a calm head at times you need it most. That's the difference between men like Vasily Zaytsev and the rest of us. I urge you to take a moment to really think about what you've listened to really think about what it must have been like for those men back then. I'll leave you with a quote from Zaytsev that really sums up how he used his hunting skills and his abilities to outwit the German forces who were attacking. He said this: "The arrival of the Nazi sniper set us a new task. We had to find him, study his habits and methods, and patiently await the moment for one, and only one, well-aimed shot."